All right. Well, hi, Miss Tate again.
Hello.
We are going to start our post observation. So I was able to observe your sixth period, eighth grade ELA, and you all it's kind of picking back up off of our pre-observation that we talked about yesterday. And so you all had the intention of working on your error analysis for Think Circa. Can you just do like a really quick maybe review with how you think the lesson went? Like, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. We'll talk about it.
So it was a quick pivot because Think Circa didn't necessarily have available what we kind of needed at the moment.
hmm
So I kind of just um based the lesson or the pivot of the lesson off of what they needed the most. And so after
hmm
looking at the data of the essays, I realized that evidence and reasoning is really their struggle points when writing their essays.
hmm
So we still did the skills lesson like we discussed in the pre, but we weren't able to necessarily get to the error analysis part of it, kind of just thinking back on what they did and reflecting on it and just going over the practice of it itself.
hmm Yeah. And I know like because this is like your what is this like your third year?
Second.
Second year, yeah. So, and that kind of comes with experience because this is real life.
Yes.
So I was actually kind of excited to see that happening because it's happened to all of us and it happens to us. It's going to continue to happen. Technology is our friend until it does not cooperate how we want it to. So I think you did really great with thinking, just on the moment because I even want to reflect before, like when I came in to observe, your students were doing their formative assessment on SchoolNet. Um, and then you were trying to problem solve by printing it out, but the platform itself was, I don't know, it's something on the district's end since it is a district pushed writing. And that's something that's out of our control, honestly. So I think you did great with pivoting, like you said. Um, so what was that paper that you had? Because I was recording and I kind of captured they were writing. So on the
So during their CFA for this one, they were kind of using the skill we used in class to guide them on the CFA as well. So it's a method that we use to kind of keep track of what we're reading as we're going through those literary texts. And so they kind of just, as they meet a new character, they write the character's name down. And then as the character kind of shows them some type of trait, they put it next to the character's name just to kind of keep track of what's going on.
some active reading there. I love that. Yeah, I kind of was looking because I was directly in front of a student and I saw like he was writing down a name. And I was like, is he writing like a story?
So
Okay.
essentially, yes, they are just recalling things from the story as they are reading it. They're just to keep track of what they're doing. Make sure
Okay.
they're still engaged with the reading itself.
Okay. And then I know, but as far as like our objective, like we were trying to get the error analysis, but you were still able to focus on because that was one thing that, from my notes from our pre-observation with the evidence and reasoning. So you were able to guide with them. I did just want to review a little bit of the lesson. I just took a few notes. So I could tell you were really trying to push your students with questioning them. So even though it wasn't necessarily the plan that you had, you were trying to question them and have them answer, what are two things you need when you're trying to cite. And I saw like Vanessa and another student, like they were able to answer right away. Um, I also really like there was a slide on the skills practice about like what are trust and trust untrustworthy. Okay, so after that brief that brief pause for announcements, I was just saying how I really like the trust and untrustworthy because that really ties in with so much. And the students I could tell really knew, like they answered with plagiarism and they provided the sentence stems that you were cueing them on. And that really ties in, like with just overall being like a digital citizen, online. You can't trust what you see. And those questions were really basically leading to that. So that's great. I also wanted to I like how you, even though this was an impromptu lesson change, you still had students involved and, you had them come up to the board and have them interact. And even though they had it on their screen, so I think that was good just to keep that engagement because I know from pre-conference that was one of your concerns. So this change might have been helpful because they all were engaged, even though it was a change. How did you think that went?
I think it went well, but it's for me, it just seems like writing is always still like a shift in the room and a shift in the energy. I think it would have gone even better, and hopefully we can maybe do this when we come back from break with them having their writing in front of them, or at least an exemplar piece of writing to kind of see these things and see what it looks like for their exact grade level and how either they or their peers are.
Yeah, and even just Georgia Milestones, they have those exemplars already. So the Georgia Milestones on their just on the Godot website, they have student work samples.
Okay.
Like current ones. So they have it for like a level 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Oh, wow, definitely.
So less work that you'll have to do.
Yeah,
those are helpful. So that would be a really good thing to consider, especially when things like this happen. I knew that happened, but in the moment, I didn't even think about that because we could have easily projected that on the board, but hey, that's fine. One suggestion I would give is, I know we have student mics. I don't know if you have your student mic for this room.
I do. It needs a new charger.
Oh, okay.
Or whichever cord it is that goes to it. It needs one.
Okay, because the students were answering you, like you didn't really have to like tell them, but it was very low.
Yes.
And I know students are kind of reluctant sometimes with speaking out, public speaking, but that helps for just amplify. Okay, so I would suggest that. And then also, I don't know if, I know like you've explicitly explained like what the objective for the lessons are, but I would, put it up on the board for them.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. I mean, you already have like what you've done, like what's relevant is still relevant. Pause for a second. But that's just like a little thing. I know it's like one of the look for, so I feel like it's important to note. Any questions or I know we talked about writing, so we'll follow up on that, and I'm sure in PLC we'll talk about it.
Yes, I was gonna say I think the next steps are just kind of picking up with it when we come back from break because they'll have another big circa that following week. So just kind of picking up where we left off and hopefully getting a chance to do or for them to actually see their pieces and see what they can improve. Because I do want to use those exemplar ones, especially whichever one is like a level, whatever, 3 or whatever for them to see. But most definitely just picking up to kind of push them forward for that argumentative part.
Okay. Yes, and that reminds me what I'll do next. I'll contact the assistant principal and probably literacy coach about that Think Circa because I received the error too. So we need some updates from the district so that we can see that data.
I think that's the first time that's happened though. Like we can usually see it all.
Yeah. So hopefully it's something just temporary, but that'll be my next steps as well. So yeah. Okay.
I don't necessarily have any questions. Thank you for telling about the essays that they have for the GMAS. So I'll definitely be looking into those.
Yeah, and I can send them to you.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.